everyone, Rob the Backyard Gardener here. Wanted to give you an update on my propagated tomato cuttings. About 3 weeks ago today, I took the ones inside that were getting a little too big, which I'll show you here in a second. So I'm gonna cut to the video that I took 3 weeks ago when I put them outside, and then we'll cut to today, which is September 3rd. Happy Labor Day weekend as well, and I'll show you where they're at. Let's go take a look. So here are my tomato cuttings. These are the propagated cuttings that I took from the Brandywine and the black cherry tomatoes, and as you can see, they are now outgrowing the indoor grow room. So it's time to get these guys outside. Typically I like to wait a little bit longer before I put them outside to let their root systems get healthy, but they are green. You can see they look good. Those are the Brandywine. Here's my black cherry. I think they're ready to go outside. This guy back here is even starting to try to get flowers, and it's even dropping them, and one of these even has a tomato. So I've now put them in the ground. This is actually in my greenhouse, which doesn't have the sheath on it because it's summertime. And the Brandywines will go in here. This ground's not the best, but we're gonna see how it does. They seem green today. I've given a lot of water. I've added a little fertilizer. Hopefully that they do well in here, but if not, it was an experiment, so we'll see how it goes. Over here is where I put my black cherry. I put a couple of them here in containers. I've got this one right here. I've added a couple of stakes to give them some support because it's windy over here and they're getting tall already. So I'm hoping that these guys do really well. I just got to keep them watered, and I've added some potatoes here on 8-7. Felt like having some red potatoes for a late season harvest as well. Oh yeah, and because it's still summertime and I have these containers, I better be mulching, which I've done, and I think it looks great. Okay, so here's the three that I put in the containers. This one right here already had a tomato on it. Now in the video that I just showed you, I only had the two containers in the back. I had waited another couple of days before I put these last few in this container, but you can see we're starting to get a ripened tomato. This actually was a tomato that grew from inside the house before I even brought it out here, so that's pretty cool. And it's getting a few more right here. There's lots of well, not lots, but for how small the plants are, there's quite a bit of flowers coming in on these, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, been 3 weeks. They're doing just fine out here. Let me go show you the other ones that aren't doing so well. So as you'll be able to see here, these are the Brandywine ones. The one I showed you earlier were the black cherries. You know, they just aren't doing too well. I just added some liquid fertilizer to them. You can see pretty clearly. Now I knew they'd be a little bit sunburnt because they were indoors for a couple weeks, but they're pretty pathetic. I'm a little embarrassed to even be showing them. For some reason, the Brandywine propagated tomatoes aren't doing good. Now, I'll remind you that the Brandywine tomatoes that I pulled these off of really only produced about 5 or 6 Brandywine tomatoes. So the plants got really diseased pretty quickly. I thought they were pretty blight resistant and disease resistant, but they really didn't do too well. They're recovering now that I've trimmed them, but not these. The propagated cuttings did not do well. Could be the fact that it gets really hot on this side of the house. Could be the fact that this soil is only in its first year, so it's not really built up as much nutrients as I would like. Probably add a lot of organic material and matter this off season and make this bed, all the beds on this side of the yard, a lot better off. But anyway, to any extent, these ones didn't do too well, the Brandywines, but the cherries are doing just fine. So there you have it, guys. Not the best update in the world as far as the Brandywine tomatoes, but I'm really happy with the black cherries. You know, those Brandywines might recover, but I don't think they're going to recover enough to give me another harvest. I'll probably end up pulling them out when I resheathe the greenhouse for my winter stuff. But at the end of the day, it was another year of learning, at least as far as propagating cuttings and trying to grow them. We'll see what happens next year when I retry propagating tomatoes. Anyway, thanks for watching again.